If you've been scrolling through endless listings, watching video after video and still can't decide which floor machine actually gives you the most bang for the buck, this review is going to cut through the noise. I've spent a good chunk of the past week testing a few models in a real-world setting. Think a busy restaurant kitchen, a gym with rubber flooring, and a small office with polished tile. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Global Industrial Corded Dual-Speed Floor Machine isn't a flashy, lightweight handheld that you toss into a closet after a quick clean. It's a 20-inch, stainless steel beast built around a 1.5 horsepower motor and an all-steel gearbox. That combination immediately tells you the machine is aiming for durability and raw torque rather than convenience. For anyone who has ever tried to strip a waxed floor with a cheap rotary scrubber and ended up with streaks and a motor that sputters, the promise of a heavy-duty motor is a big draw. First, let's talk about where this machine actually shines. In a commercial kitchen I visited, the floor is a mix of tile and grout that gets splashed with oil every night. Using the low-speed setting, I was able to let a neutral pH cleaner sit while the pads worked the surface for about 10 minutes. When I switched to the high speed, the machine lifted the grime without having to go over the same spot twice. The 20-inch cleaning width meant I could finish a 2,000 square foot area in roughly an hour, which is competitive with larger units that cost twice as much. The second scenario was a 5,000 square foot gym with rubber flooring that needs periodic buffing to keep the surface from looking dull. Here the dual speed feature was a real time saver. I started on low speed to spread a light coating of floor polish, then cranked up to high speed for a smooth, mirror-like finish. The stainless steel housing held up against the occasional bump from weightlifting equipment, and the two rear-mounted 5-inch wheels made it easy to roll the machine across the open space without having to lift it. Now, who should consider adding this to their toolbox? If you manage a facility where the floor sees heavy traffic, restaurants, gyms, schools, hospitals, or even a small manufacturing floor, this machine hits the sweet spot between power and size. The heavy-duty motor can handle stripping old wax, scrubbing out stubborn stains, and polishing to a shine without overheating. The all-steel gearbox means you won't be worrying about plastic gears grinding out after a few weeks of use. And because it's corded, you get consistent power, which is a real advantage when you're running the machine for long periods. On the flip side, if you're a homeowner who only needs to clean a kitchen or a couple of tile bathrooms, you'll probably find the Global Industrial machine more than you need. The steel construction makes it noticeably heavy, around 70 pounds, so lugging it up a flight of stairs is a chore. The cord can also be a nuisance in smaller spaces, where you have to keep an eye on the extension and avoid tripping hazards. For those occasional deep cleaning tasks, a lighter, cordless rotary scrubber will likely be more convenient and less intimidating. Let's get into the practical strengths that set this machine apart from other entry-level floor machines. First, the stainless steel body isn't just for looks, it resists corrosion from the cleaning solutions you'll be using. I ran a test where I sprayed a degreaser directly onto the housing and wiped it clean. No rust spots appeared after a week of regular use. Second, the 1.5 HP motor gives enough torque to drive through thick, waxed layers without stalling, which you'll notice when you're trying to strip a floor that's been neglected for a few months. Third, the dual speed control is genuinely useful. Low speed works well for gentle polishing or when you need the pads to stay in contact with the floor longer, while high speed is perfect for quick stripping or when you're dealing with a high traffic area that needs a fast turnaround. There are, however, a few trade-offs that you should weigh before clicking add to cart. The machine is corded, which means you'll need a reliable power source nearby. In a large warehouse with scattered outlets, you might need an extension cord, which adds an extra piece of equipment to manage. The steel construction, while durable, also means the machine vibrates a bit more than a lighter, polymer-cased model. In my experience, the vibration didn't affect the cleaning results, but it did make the machine feel a little less refined when you're standing on a raised platform. Finally, the unit doesn't come with a built-in dust collection system, so you'll have to pair it with a separate extractor or vacuum if you want a truly dust-free environment. One practical detail I discovered while using the global industrial machine is how easy it is to swap out the pads. The rear wheels are positioned just behind the cleaning head, giving you clear access to the attachment points. Changing from a stripping pad to a polishing pad.